Cambodian Broadcasting Network.
Five EBI FM 103.1 MHz.
Good afternoon, Mayor Gillian Aldridge. Welcome to the Khmer program on 5 EBF FM. And I know this is Friday afternoon, and you're probably supposed to finish early, but thank you very much for taking this time off for us.
Thank you. What a pleasure it is for me to be here, to be talking to you. But I have to tell you, mayors don't get off early Friday. We work Saturdays and Sundays. So it's such a joy to be a mayor, but you do have some long hours. So this is such a joy for me to be talking to you. So I'm happy. I don't mind what time it is.
Thank you. So if we could start off by, you can tell our listeners a bit about your career in politics and how you become the mayor of City of Salisbury.
I'd love to do that. About 26 years ago, I was approached to get onto the council. My first election was nearly 26 years ago. I've been here for 26 years. I spent many years chairing council meetings, and I was deputy mayor for Tony Zapier for 7 years, and I've been a mayor for another 7 years, and I'm certainly going to run again. I feel very privileged to be in this position. I love my community, and I love my multicultural community, so it's a great honour for me to talk about it with you, but it's been 26 years of absolute satisfaction.
Oh, great. Thank you. Now, in the City of Salisbury itself, how many suburbs consist of the City of Salisbury, and why is it called the City of Salisbury? Is it because of the size?
No, I'm not going to even think about how to quickly count up what suburbs, but I can tell you there's 136,000 people living in the City of Salisbury. It was named after an English Salisbury, so somewhere in England called Salisbury. It has a multicultural, 180 different cultures living in the city, a very progressive city, a world famous city for what we've done in recycling water. But if I have to start thinking about how many suburbs, I can tell you Paraffin Gardens is the biggest, but I'd have to go through them all, and I have a list. I would of course know them, but to bring them all to mind suddenly, but 136,000, the second biggest city in the state. We were the biggest until Onkaparinga amalgamated, but we are the second biggest city in the state. Very proud of it.
Okay. So it's 180,000 in terms of population.
136,000.
36,000.
Something like 180 different cultures.
Mm-hmm. And how many suburbs did you have there?
I have.
No?
I have to go and think quickly.
Okay.
And would you like me to name them? No, it's a great city, but there are 136 who live from Burton to almost up to Golden Grove. We pick up that Salisbury's right through down to St Kilda. So there's a vast difference in our different suburbs, but the community itself is an amazing community, very supportive of both its multiculturalism, and it's if anything goes wrong in the community is there to support each other. And I don't see that anywhere else. I see it in the north. It's just a very lovely community.
Thank you. Okay. So please tell me I'm wrong. Is it the state government who actually decides to have many different cities around the metropolitan area, such as City of Salisbury or City of Playford? Why is it so, and why is it important to divide them into different cities?
I think that the cities were not particularly set up by state government. I think in 1840 the country was actually run by local government, and then they wrote the constitution, which kind of left us out. But I don't think originally that the the cities or the local government was set up by state government. I think it was a decision made. Certainly we have looked at the amount of people living in each city and recommendations from state government for us to look closely to see whether we should amalgamate. There's always been still the choice of local government. Some have chosen to. The state government has never really come in and interfered.
Thank you. Now, in your role as the mayor of the City of Salisbury, you are the main person of the city. So after yourself, how many other important roles within the council itself?
I am number one citizen. I say that very proudly. There are 17 councillors. That includes myself. Okay. They range from all ages. In fact, a couple of them are in their 20s, or one of them in particular is in his 20s. In fact, wasn't born when I started on council. All with different values and different views that make up a really competent council. So because of the different age structures, you're getting a different values. And people, we've got a couple of young people that are really passionate about supporting the youth. So each councillor is perhaps coming from a different place, which adds to the variety and the challenges and the ability to make good decisions for all of our local people.
Okay. Also, I'm interested to know the residential houses in the City of Salisbury. Would you have that figure? How many residential houses in the City of Salisbury altogether?
We would. I don't know whether they're in here then. Probably have to get a list of those too. How many residential houses? But if there's 136,000 voting people,
sure,
or if there's 136 voting people, you're talking probably 60 or 70,000 houses. I mean, if you look at Mawson Lakes alone, there's well over growing maybe 12,000 houses in Mawson Lakes. So that's quite a small suburb. So in each of the suburbs, so I'd have to make a guess, but there'd have to be 70,000, but we've certainly get at least 70,000, maybe 80,000 houses in the city.
Yes. And from those population figure, then the council will then work out where to have schools and where to have...
Absolutely.
Yes.
Planning in this city is very important. Not only do we plan and review everything for the future, because what fits now that we plan, whether it's a community house or community centre, or whether it's our recreation or anything we do in our libraries, we have to continuously plan for certainly the population of the future, and also what libraries or recreation centres will look like in the future. So we are constantly planning through council on how, and our roads, they have to be planned for. So it's very important to know what is the predicted number of people that could be living in this city in 20 years' time, and how we'll plan to look after them and be able to service them with all sorts of services, whether it be libraries, roads, rubbish, whatever.
Thank you. Now, I would like also to know a bit about the land tax revenue, or the council
rates.
Rates, yeah. Okay, council rates, yes. How much does the council receive in rates each year, and how do you utilise those tax?
Not complicated, cheeky questions. Our rates are the lowest, have always averaged around the lowest 3 or 4 in the state.
Okay.
Our people have a perception about local government, their rates going up, when in fact we are all rate payers who sit on this council. So we're very conscious about what we can get out of our rating dollar. Although we collect a large amount, we usually spend more because we need to maintain and again plan for the future. So whatever we're planning is going to be used in 30 or 40 years' time. It's got to be planned now and built for, as far as I'm concerned, built for the future. So our rating this year, we're hoping, will be very reasonably low. I'm not going to say too much because the final decision hasn't been made, but I would hope it wouldn't be over 4%, which is not a great rate rise. The local government CPI is dearer than the normal CPI because the costs in local government, whether that be wages or whatever else. But the value of the city is worth a great deal, and we have to invest in it all the time, not only to look after and maintain our city so that the residents have the quality of life that they not only pay for in their rates, but also deserve.
Okay. So is it fair to say if we calculate the 4% times by the number of residential houses, we would get the figures?
You would. You would, but we'd need to get the exact figures of how many houses in this city, and I can actually tell you offhand. I mean, I think when I joined there were probably 50,000. I'm presuming that there's more than that, but certainly we can get that information for you.
Thank you. The next question about the local businesses. So how important is local businesses for the city, and do you assist them in any way for small businesses or commercial businesses who want to operate or set up a business in the area?
What a great question, and what a joy it is for me to be able to tell you. Yes, local businesses are essential, and the beauty of having different multicultural groups are when we see our town centre growing and smelling like the East and every part of the world because people are investing. Small businesses are the biggest employers in Australia, and we need to look after them. We love to encourage businesses, small or big, in our city. There are many large businesses that continue to invest millions of dollars in upgrading their properties in this city, which we're very proud of. Small businesses, again, yes, do we have any help? Fabulous help for our small businesses. We have a centre in Mawson Lakes called the Polaris Centre, which helps small businesses develop, encourages them in every possible way, and trains them, and has a mentoring program that continues to support them when they've started up their businesses. And now we've been going for quite a few years. You can actually see the businesses that have been supported by the Polaris Centre, again a council run, one of the business developments that we push through and plan for in council that are there to help any business. It's called the Polaris Centre. We have great staff there that will do whatever they can to help any small business get started in any way they can, whether that's training them on how to run a business, training them on how to serve a business, or training them on how to get established or even export in a business. We're there to help.
Very important information. I think the Cambodian community might be very interested if who wants to start a small business and so on. Another question regarding, always interested to know, and I'm sure the Cambodian community probably would like to know as well, like in terms of when do house owners need to get the council approval for major home improvements on the outside of their house, for example, such as having a swimming pool or major extension to their home? Why is it important to get approval? When they are actually building in their own property, and what is the reason behind this matter of getting the approval?
Okay.
Yep.
Development in our city is very important, and it needs to be done properly. If someone wants to develop their property or put a swimming pool in, they need to come in and talk to us. There are regulations that have to sort out, otherwise we could have houses falling down and pools not draining water off correctly. So there are regulations, and to keep this city running correctly, it has to be well planned. But if someone wants to do any of that, we've got staff. They just need to come in, ask the questions. Staff will help them fill in the appropriate paperwork. So anything you do, and it may not need planning approval, just come in and talk to some of the staff here, and they will walk you through it.
Thank you. Now let's talk a bit more about your connection with the
State and federal.
yes, state and or federal politics. So how independent is the City of Salisbury from the state government of Mr. J. Weddell, and in what circumstances do you need to work in partnership with the state government or the federal government? Yes.
Very important question again. We are independent of any political party. We are non-political, although we might be politicians. We are non-party politicians, so that we work here for the people. We do work well with both state and federal. It's essential, absolutely essential, especially for the North, to work together with both, especially in the challenges ahead with Holden's closing, to work with both the federal and state government. I personally have a really good relationship with both state and federal. I have a good relationship with our 3 local politicians. Actually there's more, there's about 4 or 5, but the ones I have a lot to do with are always passionate about our city, so I'm very lucky. We have a great support from the federal government, and it's just a matter of talking to them and they understand where we're coming from. But it's also essential that we work together. Local government has to be included in any decision making, and I think both federal and state agree with that, because these are our local people and we understand where and what their needs are. And I do believe that state and federal government are happy to work with local government and respect and understand that we're all working for the same aim.
Now that you mentioned about your partnership with the local MPs, I've noticed there are 2 Labour Party electorate in the city of Salisbury, or at least 2 that I know of. One of them is Taylor with Lisa Vlahos as an MP, and the other one is Ramsey with Zoe Patterson as an MP. So you are actually working along side by side for the development of the area.
We are. We actually have Jennifer Rankin, who is a minister. We have Jack Snelling, who's a minister. Lee Odenwater, I don't think picks up much of Salisbury. We have Lisa Vlahos, who's very passionate about Salisbury. I think it's good to have them all on side, to be honest. I think they really do, all of them care about what's happening in the north and certainly in Salisbury. Zoe Bedison is really passionate about getting everything organised. Lisa is, and Susan Close, who picks up Powalawi and Mawson Lakes, Paraffel Gardens, always around, always wanting to know what's happening. So we have a good relationship, whether they be Labor or Liberals. With these happen to be Labor people, we work very well with them.
Now let's talk a bit about your involvement with the Cambodian community.
Love to.
I have seen you on many occasions at the Cambodian cultural events, particularly the Khmer New Year. Now, how do you see the Cambodian community? Do they play an important role in making this area a vibrant one? And of course there are many other ethnic groups just as important. What should the Cambodian community do more to be more involved with the council, with yourself, to work together for the prosperity and the harmony of the area?
You're right. I have been involved with the Cambodians for about over 20 years, and we're really proud to have the Cambodians and their culture in our city. There have been some challenges for the Cambodian people. How can they work better with the community? Well, we work pretty closely I personally do work fairly closely with I hope that the Cambodian leaders can pick up the phone to me and talk to me. I'm always happy to listen and do whatever I can. The Cambodian people mixing better, well, you know what, they're not using our community centres. I'd love to see them using our community centres more. Maybe that's what we need to do, is go in and see how can we help. But the Cambodians that have been here for a while, their children are all Australians. They make me very proud. They sound more Australian than I am. They are truly our new Australians, and we're very proud to have them. Your culture, your food enriches our city, and we're very lucky to have you. Love to go to Cambodian things. Love the whole feel of the closeness of the community. Love the food, and just enjoy everything. I think we spoke before about one of the things I want to do is to go over to Cambodia, and actually the Cambodians here in Australia have encouraged me and to make a decision to go to Cambodia to understand more about your wonderful culture and your wonderful history. So your culture has certainly enriched our country, and I'm so pleased to have you.
Thank you. Lastly, let's talk about, I think, the election, the council election.
Yes.
I believe there's an election coming up at the end of year. So would you tell the Cambodian community a bit about this council election?
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about our elections. We are elected for 4 years. It's very important that if you want to find out who your local councillor is and ask them what they're prepared to do for the Cambodian people, how involved are they going to be, are they going to come to your functions, are they going to show an interest in you. They will be all standing to get a lot of them to get re-elected. Maybe we'll even get a Cambodian person that will say, well, I think I'd like to stand. The opportunity is there in my phone. I'm always happy to talk to someone who's interested in local government. As your mayor, I'm very proud to tell you that I'll be standing again. I'd love you to come out and support me. But, you know, make sure the Cambodian people's vote it's not a compulsory election. It's up to you will get a letter in your post in about November that will ask you who you want to vote for and give you an opportunity to fill it out, sign it and send it back. You don't have to line up at a booth. But you know, it's important that you have your say. If you want to be heard, then you need a councillor and a mayor that are prepared to go to bat for you, which I suppose in Australia means are prepared to take your side and do what they can for you. So I think it's important, if you've got a councillor running in your area, that you want to meet them, know all about them, and they're going to be your voice in council. So they need to listen to you and understand where you're coming from. So take note of the elections and be prepared to go out there and vote, because you're going to put people there that you want to listen to you. So I think it's really important that the Cambodian they perhaps haven't been so involved in the past, but you're Australians now, a lot of you, or are going to become Australians. So this is your local government, so make a difference, vote.
Would you give us a date would you know the date for the election? It's in November, did you say?
Yes.
What day is it on?
You know what, this is terrible, isn't it? But I haven't even thought about it yet.
Okay, yeah,
but it is in November, and
yes.
There'll be publicity
Sure.
all around. There'll be signs out to tell you. You will get the letter. Probably it could even be early November or late September. You'll get the letter that says, "Would you like to vote?" And here are the people that you can vote for. So you'll have plenty of time when you get that. And you'll have the opportunity to ring the person who's standing in your area and find out more about them. Invite them to your Cambodian functions. Talk to them there, tell them what you think your needs are, and ask them how they can best help you.
Thank you very much for your time today, Mayor Gillian Aldridge. And I'm sure when it comes closer to the election, I'm sure we can have another interview if you don't mind. Yes.
Oh, give me the opportunity and I'll jump at it. I'd love to talk to the Cambodian people, and yes, the elections are important, and I'd really love to come on radio before then and talk about them. Yeah. And then I'll have all the right dates, exactly right dates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cambodian Broadcasting Network.
Five EBI FM 103.1